Shalom! Today I'd like to show you a Bible code about the Northern Lights and the Southern Lights. I'll start by reading a verse from Psalm chapter 19, verse 1. The heavens declare the glory of Yahuwah, and the firmament showeth forth his handiwork. So the Northern and the Southern Lights are a wonderful display in the night sky that shows the glory of Yahuwah. This Bible code table is found in Exodus. The access term is at a skip of 1,000. And this is our access term here, Northern, in the green highlighting that goes down. So every letter is a skip of 1,000 letters apart. Then the word lights is in this yellow going up diagonal. So Northern Lights, and then Southern is in this blue going up diagonal. These lights appear in the night sky. Night is over here in the dark blue going up the same skip of 1,000. Twice we have the word atmosphere, and it's here in this teal going across to the right, and then in the line right below it, it goes across to the left. These lights appear high in our Earth's atmosphere, and we have two words for the word heaven or sky. The first one is up here in the plain text of Scripture, Hashamim, in this blue. And another word for heavens or sky is down here in the light teal, and it's again the same skip of 1,000. The word for creation is in this pink, going diagonal, and crossing over it here in the purple is Elohai, which means divine. So divine creation. Two times we have the word solar here in this orange going to the right, and solar is here going to the left. And what happens when northern lights appear is there's a lot of solar activity going on, and particles are colliding in the atmosphere. That's what causes the lights. We actually have the word collide, and it's in this burgundy going across to the right. The word water is here in this blue, and you can read it either going up or down. It reminds me of the water cycle, where water evaporates and goes up into the atmosphere, and then it condenses and falls to the earth in the form of rain or snow. And now we're going to look at some of the ways that the northern lights can appear. They appear as light or bright in the sky, in this pink lettering going up. In this peach is lamp or bulb. Menorah is in this orange lettering going across, and that's a lamp. The name Uriah is in this table, in this lavender color, going down diagonal. And Uriah, the meaning of his name is light of Yah, and it exactly parallels the angle that lights is going. Uriah and lights. In this green lettering, starting here, is the word display. And down here in the purple, we have the same phrase highlighted twice, and this comes from Exodus chapter 28, where it's talking about the clothing of Aaron's sons, how they are to be dressed. And it says, for glory and for beauty. So the exact same phrase twice. Here in this fuchsia color is the word visibility or evidence, so we can see the northern lights. And they seem to flicker or glow in the night sky. And here is flicker or glow. It can also mean shimmer. And some of the common colors of the northern lights are blue, green, and pink. Here is blue in the plain text of Scripture. And green is here in this green lettering. And pink is right here, going up diagonal and crossing through the two phrases of for glory and for beauty. And now I'd like to tell you what some of these highlighted verses say. This verse comes from Exodus chapter 20, verse 11, and that is where the 10 Commandments are given. This specific commandment that's being highlighted here has to do with the Sabbath day. And what's highlighted here says, "For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and the earth, the sea and all that is in them." And you can see that heaven is right there. We looked at that earlier. And the phrase et ha-shamim and et ha-aretz, that's the heavens and the earth. And that exact phrase is used in the first verse of the Bible, Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, Elohim created the heavens and the earth. And we saw that right below, going diagonal, is the word creation. And that line is speaking about creation. The next verse, this is Exodus chapter 24, verse 17. And this portion highlighted says, "The glory of Yahuwah was like devouring fire on the top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Israel." And so that's talking about when Moses went up on the mount to receive the tables, and Yahuwah showed fire to show his presence on the mount. 3 of the words that are crossing over this exact line are important words. We already looked at them. It's display and atmosphere and menorah. So this is similar to what this verse is talking about, how Yahuwah displayed his presence with fire up in the mount. And it says that his presence was like fire. Well, fire is found a couple of other times in this table. This one is from Exodus chapter 29, verse 18, where it's talking about making an offering to Yahuwah by fire. And this one here is Exodus 29, verse 34, where it talks about burning the remainder of an offering with fire. Now I'd like to make a little bit of an application to our lives with this table and show you a few more words that we haven't looked at that are in this table. Here we have the word love in the red, going vertical, same as the access term. And up here in the brown is mitzvah, which is commandment. And commandment here crosses over the same verse of Exodus chapter 20, where the 10 Commandments are given. It's interesting that all of creation obeys Yah's commands. When Yeshua was here, the winds and the waves obeyed him, like it says in Matthew chapter 8. In John chapter 14, verse 15, Yeshua said, "If you love me, keep my commandments." And 1 John chapter 5, verse 3 says, "This is love for Yahuwah, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not burdensome." So obedience is Yahuwah's love language. He wants us to obey him to show our love. Only man needs to be reminded to obey him. The rest of creation obeys him no problem. Yahuwah gave us a couple of different ways that we can be reminded to obey him. Here in the gold lettering, right beside commandment is the word mezuzah. A mezuzah is a little container that you can put on your doorpost. It has some scriptures inside of it, and it's to help you to remember to obey the commandment of the Lord. Another way Yahuwah said that we could be reminded to do his commandments was with what they call a tzitzit, and that's the strings that are on the four corners of a garment that a man wears, and blue threads are supposed to be woven into these strings on the corners. And so this is another way to be reminded to keep Yahuwah's commandments. Now the last verse that's highlighted down at the bottom here, this is from Exodus chapter 30 verse 8. And it says here, when Aaron lighteth the lamps at evening. And so that's lamps right there, and we saw the singular for lamp here in this peach. And so the northern lights look like lamps in the sky. The last verse I'd like to read before we close is from Proverbs chapter 6 verse 23, which says, for the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. So 3 of the words from this verse are in our table. It's commandment, and lamp, and light. So I hope this Bible code has been a blessing and an encouragement for you. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Shalom.